So you just opened up a brokerage account and you don't know what stocks you want to invest in just yet. Well, stick to the end of this video because I'm going to show you guys what stocks I recommend you invest in and what stocks to stay away from. Let's get to it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Stat345 back here with another video. So over the past couple of weeks, we've been seeing the stock market go down the toilet, and I've had a ton of people ask me what stocks they should put their money in and what stocks they should stay away from. So in this video, we're going to talk about what stocks I recommend you invest in and which stocks you should completely stay away from if you're new to the stock market. So let's talk about it. Now, before I get into my picks, I just want to reiterate that these are just my personal recommendations of what stocks you should and shouldn't invest in. Make sure to always do your own research before you spend your hard-earned money on anything I tell you to. Remember, YouTubers are not always right. Even though we do some research on some stuff, you always want to make sure you double check and fact check anything we're saying on this platform. But yeah, now that we got that out the way, let's get into my first pick, which is going to be tech stocks. So if you look at a lot of tech stocks right now, you'll notice that a lot of them are down dramatically. But why is that? And to put it as simply as I possibly can, interest rate hikes, less liquidity in the market, higher yield bonds, and one of the biggest causes for this is inflation. Tech stocks generally only rise when there's hype for a new product or release of a tech company. And usually when they're not doing that, their stocks generally stay stagnant the rest of the year. Just look at Apple stocks when they have a huge announcement or release a product, then look at the rest of the year. You'll see spikes when they're about to release a product or they have an announcement for a product, and then you look at the rest of the year and it's generally stagnant until they come back to another product release. And it's usually around a new iPhone, iMac, or iPad release. With the market hitting all-time lows this year, look at what stocks are being hit the worst. Here's a list of all the stocks that have took big hits since the beginning of this year. And if you notice, it's mostly all tech companies. So that's why I tell beginners to stay away from tech companies. I know they can seem familiar to you, and you can notice Apple, Microsoft, and Sony and think that, hey, these are these big billion-dollar companies and I'm familiar with their products, so I'm going to go invest with them. But you'll be doing yourself a great disservice by doing that. I'll say stay away from tech companies unless you're investing in some type of tech startup company that you've done your research about that might be a billion-dollar company one day, like a Amazon, Microsoft, Sony. But other than that, I would say stay away from tech stocks altogether unless you know what you're actually investing in. So when you're investing in companies that have already been established, there's usually a minimum margin for profit because you're already invested into a company that's already big. Like, imagine if you invested in Amazon when it was just a small little company, you'll probably be a billionaire right now. But if you invest into the company now, how much do you think you're really going to make when it's already a billion-dollar company? Like, their margin for growth is like minimum. So that's why I say stay away from tech stocks if you're a beginner and if you actually want to make a lump sum of money. But with that being said, let's move on to my number 2 pick, and we have video game companies. So stocks like Activision Blizzard, Nvidia, Nintendo, Razer, and so on. Do not invest in these companies. It's pretty much like throwing money in the garbage, lighting it on fire, and eating the ashes afterwards. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's pretty much the same points I made with tech companies, but inflation is going to burn these stocks down along with less liquidity, and these stocks will jump up and down depending on what these companies are doing at the time. If a company doesn't have a big release, then these stocks will typically stay stagnant or fall dramatically, like I said with tech companies. Just look at how many gaming companies are on the list for the falling stocks in 2022. Also with video game companies and video game stocks, you guys know in the gaming community, if a game flops, these gaming studios and publishers will shut a studio down like that, meaning that that company will either file for bankruptcy or just fall off the face of the earth, meaning that any money you had invested in that company is gone, just like that. So again, just like with tech stocks, when these video game companies have large acquisitions like Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard and Sony buying all those different publishers it bought this year, it can inflate the stock a little bit, but be forewarned, if that studio does something bad and they get dropped, then you know your money is going along with it. And my number 3 pick for stocks that you should stay away from are media companies. Now again, you can see the trend in this video. Stay the hell away from tech related stocks. And all I'm going to say is, look at AMC when I talk about media companies. Companies like Fox Corp, CNN, IMAX, AMC, stay away from companies like that. Just like I said about these video game companies, the same thing applies to these media companies. Movies can flop, studios can shut down, and even with media companies, bad press can cause a stock to plummet. Yes, you heard that right. Even bad press can cause a stock to dip. Like, I can make a whole video on why you shouldn't invest in companies like Disney, AMC, and such, but I'm gonna just keep it short and sweet and just let you guys know to stay away from media companies when you're investing in stocks. But now that I told you guys what stocks you shouldn't invest in, how about some stocks that you should put your money in that you can actually trust? Now for my first pick of stocks you should invest in, we have renewable energy companies. So if you guys checked out my video I posted the other day called my 2022-2023 market crash plan, I told you guys in that video that renewable energy companies and renewable energy stocks are going to be the wave of the future whether we like it or not. So with the Build Back Better Act and the Green New Deal, our government is literally giving these companies billions of dollars to invest in renewable energy resources. And like I said before, it's only going to get bigger and bigger as time goes along. Just look at Tesla. They're literally the poster child for renewable energy cars and have built a $1 billion empire in just a couple of years. And with our government giving a lot of these renewable energy companies billions of dollars and more people transitioning over to renewable energy such as solar power for their homes, I can foresee a lot of companies being big just like Tesla in the future. But like I said before, if you guys want to know more details and what specific companies I'm recommending, make sure to check out my 2022-2023 market crash plan because there's a lot of good information in there. Now renewable energy is the way of the future whether we want it to or not, so you guys might as well hop above the curve and get some money invested in these companies before a lot of these companies blow up in the future. But speaking of future, what about right now? As we can see with inflation happening right now and high gas prices, that's going to be my number 2 pick. Buy you some gas and oil stocks right now. Like I said in my previous settlement, get you some gas and oil stocks because over the next couple of months, these gas and oil companies are about to make bank. Gas is already at a record high $5 a gallon in some places, and it is only going to go up over the next couple of months. So this right here is a look at the top 30 oil and gas company stocks, and as you can see, every single company almost is turning a net profit when the companies that are reporting a loss right now are barely suffering a marginal loss, which I promise you they're going to recover from in the next upcoming months, especially with companies like Merrill and Lynch reporting that we could see gas prices as high as $10 a gallon by August-September time this year. Also, with the price of crude oil hitting a 5-year high, I can only see it going further, expanding on into next year and probably not end into year 2024 when this stock market crash settles. And you guys might want to snag this up before the end of this year because you know gas prices are going to be sky high and so are these stocks. Now with that being said, let's talk about another company that won't go anywhere anytime soon, and it's going to be any type of steel, infrastructure, or construction stocks. These companies are basically here to stay and will not go away ever. So if you haven't already heard, the Biden administration has already committed to spending $1 trillion on infrastructure to fix aging roads and modernize public transportation, meaning that they are going to be giving these construction companies billion-dollar grants like there are cookies. So a lot of people usually classify construction and industrial stocks as slow and steady income stocks, more likely to return money to shareholders than double the value overnight, which is true in most cases, but most of these companies are listed below a paid dividend. There are some construction-related companies that are well positioned to grow faster than the economy as a whole. And this is thanks to their exposure to long-term spending trends. But like I said in my 2022-2023 market crash plan, I already gave you guys a list of these companies that are going to be in the forefront to receive this money. So make sure you guys research and check on these companies in the upcoming months because I promise you, you do not want to miss on these big financial gains that they are about to get. Like I said before, those are my 3 picks of stocks that you should invest in or you should check out and research. Don't just listen to me, make sure to do your own research. But let's talk about it down in the comments below. Do you guys have any other stocks that beginner investors should invest in or should research and check out, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to leave a like because it helps the channel out a lot. Make sure to subscribe because I do videos like this all the time. If you guys want to make money, I'm here to help you make money with me and with you. See you guys in the next video. Peace.